the intense perfectionist who's laser focused on their vision, often struggling with anger or frustration when things don't go as planned. And as I was reading this type, it made me think of Steve Jobs
Yeah.
because he was someone who was so laser focused on his vision, he didn't give a hoot about likability. That was like the last thing from his mind. So if you're, and this is a type in the Fortune 50 world that I existed in, I saw a lot of this. And
Hmm.
you see a lot of it, I think, in entrepreneurs too. So, how can someone, if they're an intense perfectionist, balance their drive for results with the need for collaborating and having empathy on others, which typically
Yeah.
can be lacking?
So intense perfectionist pros side are exactly that. They don't care so much about being liked by others, which tends to help them professionally and hurt them personally. But when you don't care so much, when you're not fixated on people liking you and winning a popularity contest, it's very easy for you to be direct, right? Often we get into like a politeness contests with people because we don't want to hurt their feelings or we don't want to be perceived in a certain way. We're focused on impression management. Intense perfectionists have no time for that. And that's really helpful in creating momentum around a project and infusing efficiency into something. And, as you said, the con side to this is that they can sometimes lose sight of the bigger picture, right? So, an intense perfectionist might get the goal, they will get the goal done, but it's like at what cost? And sometimes the ends don't justify the means. And intense perfectionists not managing their perfectionism can forget that. So it's like, great, you hit all your Q3 goals, and next quarter, half your team's going to quit because they are all so miserable, right? Or great, everyone's at Thanksgiving on time and dressed in the clothes you wanted them to wear, and the table looks beautiful and the food tastes delicious. But did you notice nobody's laughing? Did you notice like you can hear forks scraping on the plates because nobody's feeling any sense of spontaneity or connection or warmth? Because your goal wasn't those things. Your goal was to, you know, have some kind of like concrete vision of what you think the moment is supposed to be. And so to answer your question, I mean, I'm going to bore you because it's the same answer as all the other ones, but it's understand where you need help. You need help remembering that relationships matter and successful outcomes that are sustainable are built on sustainable, healthy connections with other people.
Yeah, well, if you look at the Harvard study of adult aging, or if you look into self determination theory, they both showcase how important relationships are to us and our overall well being. So, absolutely plays into our sense of mattering and belongingness, regardless of what type you are. I'm
I
going to
bring up
switch the conversation a little bit on you.
Okay. I was just going to highlight Dr. Bruce Perry's research. He's a researcher whom I love and admire very much. I talk about this in the Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control, but his research is about how nothing impacts your mental health more than the quality of connections you have with other people, which he calls relational wealth. So, right now, you're either living on a spectrum of relational wealth or relational poverty, and where you are on that spectrum has a bigger determining factor of your mental health more than your socioeconomic status, more than whether or not you do or don't have a mental health disorder, more than the difficulty of what you're going through right now is. Connection with other people is the thing that, like, people say time heals all wounds. No, that's a myth. Connection heals all wounds. And so the sense of connectedness and relational wealth is such a game changer to understand that.